It has never been more expensive to go to Disney World and Disneyland than it is today, but a new report from Business Insider is making huge waves at the same time that the head of the parks, Josh D'Amaro, takes over the House of Mouse. Today we'll tell you why they might just have to clamp down on those prices before it becomes mainstream knowledge. Disney is no longer affordable to the American middle class. Hello folks, and welcome back. Class is in session right here on the Pro Channel, where we continue to give you a PhD level understanding into all things Disney, and no tuition is required. You're all on scholarship here. As we dive in, click the like button, drop a comment down below, let us know your thoughts. If you see the hype, the time is always ripe to hit the hype. And you know what? If you like even more spicy stuff, consider going over to the Patreon, where we must put the spice. It's www.patreon.com/WDW Pro. This is a video put out by Business Insider. Disney World one-day ticket prices. We're going to scroll back just a little bit and play it, and then I'm going to show you what they have to say. Here, though, is the crazy level that ticket prices at Disney and prices just flat out have risen, far outstripping historic inflation. Here we go.
Fractions, and park prices rose even faster. But 2 years in the 2010s would change how the parks were priced for good.
Folks, take a look at that. Look at that. And by the way, you're paying that one. Unless you're a Floridian. And remember what we talked about before in other segments and videos, talking about how Floridians now are completely paying a different price. Folks, this is what everybody's basically paying. This is what the Floridians paying. And I don't know what that line in the middle is. I just can't tell you. Now, I would love to play the full video for you. It's got millions of views. Business Insider has done a takedown of Disney that's actually requiring a response. But since we can't play it, because it's their content, and go watch it. We love them sometimes. Travel and Tour World basically ripped them off. Good. And I'm not a fan of that. I don't, ethically, I don't want them to rip the video off, but they did. And I'm just, I've got scruples, but they only go so far, and we're going to read this. Disneyland's travel prices have gone through the roof. The shocking truth about what your next theme park vacation will really cost. And they're just flat out ripping out the information from this. So we're just going to go down here. Let me read a little bit of it to you. It says, when it comes to admission, the cost of visiting Disney parks has escalated dramatically in recent years. For example, a single day ticket to Walt Disney World can now reach up to $199. Actually, it goes higher. During peak time, this surge in ticket prices is largely due to the introduction of dynamic pricing in 2016. Similarly, the cost of a one-day ticket to Disneyland in Anaheim now starts at $104. There's like 2 days that it's at that price. A notable increase from the earlier years when Disney parks were more affordable for families. Got it. But here's where it gets crazy. Over the years, Disney parks have shifted from providing many free services to charging for various premium add-ons. For instance, the FastPass system, which allowed visitors to bypass long lines for certain rides without any charge, has been replaced with Lightning Lane. Visitors can expect to now pay $429, depending on how many rides they wish to skip the lines for. That's for the premium, which is the same as the old Lightning Lane pass. $429 per person per day on top of a $200 ticket per day. It says, moreover, services that were once complimentary, like the Magic Express shuttle, it's gone. Plenty of other stuff as well, but look at this. What about the price of food? In addition to rising ticket prices, the cost of food and snacks within the parks has increased significantly. For example, a simple Mickey ice cream bar, which cost $2.75 in 2009, now costs $6.50. More than double an increase. Visitors can expect to spend $50 to $60 per day on food. I think it's much higher. You can spend $50 or $60 on a single meal. These higher food prices become a significant burden for families who are already spending a large portion of their budget on tickets. The rising prices of food and snacks at Disney parks are forcing families to rethink their spending habits. You bet. Talks about merchandise prices. Mickey ears are now $20 to $50. They were less than $10 just a few years ago. Price now to go to Walt Disney World or Disneyland for a family of four, $6,000 to $15,000.
Wow.
And I can confirm that, folks. 3 days at the parks for me. I took 5 people last week. I chose to pay the regular prices so that I would know what I was talking about $5,000 for 3 days. That is too much for the average American family to pay. It's just too much. And that is why, folks, if we look at this right now, Business Insider put this out on February 1st, 1,100,000 views so far, 14,000 likes, 279 downvotes. And what you should know, Disney now offering 50% off on annual pass, down payment, but not the overall payment, and some other stuff. They're desperate to change this narrative, especially as Josh tomorrow takes over. Lauren, I saw you wincing in pain. Your thoughts on just how expensive and how insane Disney has become?
Well, the last time that I went to a Disney park was Disneyland in 2014. We're talking a long time ago now. And that at the time was for it was 3 of us going, and I think that was 7 days. Actually, I think it was a long weekend, so I think it may have actually been 10 days, and we had a week at the hotel. And the entire trip, I think, cost about $10,000, something like that at the time. So that's how much of an increase that we're talking about. You're absolutely right. There's no way I can afford to go to the park today.
It's absolutely wild, and culture, people don't understand before they go how much they're going to be hosed for. And what I've watched happen to culture is now, essentially, at least at Walt Disney World, it's this very bizarre demographic where the money that's being made by Disney is being paid by ultra-rich Europeans, a few East Coasters, and some South American tour groups. But it's the ultra global elites, and then they pad it out so it still looks kind of full by bringing in Floridians for next to nothing. That's the plan. It's bizarre.
Well, it's the top 20% of wage earners globally. Now, it used to be, the top 20% of wage earners in the United States plus the global audience. It's changed considerably. Most families these days, according to many surveys conducted recently, 92.6% of survey respondents say that the vacation's out of reach because of the
Say
price.
that number again, culture. Emphasize that, please. People need to know that.
92.6% of survey respondents are agreeing that this vacation is out of reach at the Walt Disney World.
And they've stripped everything out to do. There's nothing to do, culture.
First of all,
there's 7 rides at Animal Kingdom.
The perks are non-existent, as was pointed out in the article. And by the way, they're not the only place to write about this. I mean, we have plenty of material from That Park Place or Geeks and Gamers that back all of this up. But if you aren't willing to spend over $6,000 to take your family on a vacation, Walt Disney World's just plain, you might as well just cross it out, because you're going to exceed easily $150 a day per person. Look, when I go to Disney, and again, I'm just going to speak for myself. I plan on $50 minimum per meal. There are 3 meals a day. It's $150 in meals. I'm spending $200 in tickets. Where am I at? I'm at $350. Now, if I want a snack, a soda pop, or a piece of merchandise, a T-shirt, whatever, where am I at? I'm at $400.
Just a little bit more from Business Insider real quick.
Of $2,100 or $2,876 adjusted for inflation. Now, a one-night stay at these deluxe bungalows can cost guests a minimum of $3,500 or over $6,800 depending on the season.
Yeah.
Lou, would you pay $6,800 for a single night at a Disney thing? Lou is in shock. He's fallen out of his chair. These numbers they're insane.
Me, I had the switch thrown. Sorry about that. No way would I pay that. And there's another factor here. Let us assume for a minute a family summons all their resources, goes on all their credit cards, and takes this trip we're talking about for $5,000, $10,000. And let us say that they have a marvelous time. Everything goes right. They see the shows they want to see. They eat the food they want to. They come back thoroughly satisfied. Once upon a time, that would mean, gee, can we go again next year? No. At that price, what it means is, can we go in 5 years, in 10 years?
Yeah.
And that's a huge part of Disney's business, is repeat business, or was. They are killing the golden goose of repetitive, regular visits with these prices.
Based on, by the way, this is their strategy. They're hoping for global ultra elites to bring their families for 1 week or 2 weeks for their once a generation, and they want to extract as much money from those people as they can, because they've realized that the ultra wealthy, if they just sock it to them, they got the piggy bank to do so.
But see, they used to do that by having the high-end restaurants and the high-end merch and the high-end hotel rooms for them, and everything else was for everybody else.
Right.
Now there is no everybody else.
That's right.
Well,
that's exactly
look,
right.
Worse yet, Lou, and this is a thing that I'm sure you'll agree with. They're providing Marriott type rooms for Ritz-Carlton type prices.
Yeah.
And look, there's nothing premium about Marriott. There just isn't. And they're trying to strip the identity of each of the resorts in a way that it'll give you that singular experience. So wherever you stay on property isn't really all that special. They've removed the uniqueness, the Disney way from pretty much everything they provide.
What's ironic about that is that Universal's gone in the opposite direction.
Exactly.
My beef against the Universal hotels was not that they weren't nice, not that they weren't comfortable, not that they weren't well located, all the rest of that. It was that they were basically, as far as the bottom line identity of them, big airport business hotels anywhere in the country. They weren't that themed and that special. Now they're going that way.
Yeah.
And it's making them special. And there's no comparison. There's no comparison.
Yeah. I think you guys are all right. I think you're correct.
I appreciate that.
That's why we're here, because we're all right.
We are.
You're all right too. If you need a little, ego stroke there, you're all right. You're a bit of all right, as they say over there.
All right. Look, all I know is the thing that has always been my biggest complaint is the lack of value. And the fact that, let's say I decided to pay rack rate for a 3-bedroom unit at Christmas time. I used to be able to get that for $9,000. Now it's $12,000 a night. Or
what's changed?
Nothing.
What's
Nothing.
probably changed is they haven't maintained it, and it's not quite as spiffy as it was when you paid
Well,
$6.
the view didn't change. I might have a little difficulty with some of the premium items that are connected stuff or whatever, but I'm never ever going to pay that kind of money for Disney ever again, because the value isn't there. Do you realize that a Disney cruise is a premium priced experience, but they give you less than what you're going to find on, like, let's say, a Royal Caribbean cruise these days?
Yeah.
It's insanity. You put the Disney name on something and you can offer, great trips to Little St. James as an excursion or something.
Here's something that's out there from Wall Street Apes. It says an American was going through his things and found an old Walt Disney World vacation he made from 2010. For the 5-night vacation, it was $1,918.
Yep.
So he decided to see what it would cost if he booked the exact same vacation today. Folks, here's what we've got.
So I was going through some old stuff, and
Well, we can't play that because it's got the Toy Story music.
in it. Yeah.
nights at the Disney's All-Star Movie Resort.
Still got the music. Can we skip ahead? Get rid of the music.
And can we point out he's staying at All-Star Movies, which is not exactly the high-end hotel.
Look, it's one of the what we call value resort locations.
It's
part
a
of the
motel with a food court and a bunch of big statues.
Exactly.
Period.
And by the way, the food court there is not bad. The salmon is very good.
So what was $1,900
Is
in
now
2010 is $4,222.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't surprise me because, like I said, if you want a premium experience with a castle view in a 3-bedroom grand villa, you went from paying $9,000 a night to $12,000 a night. You realize that 3 nights there is going to be like, most people's down payment for a house?
And it's cold these days, Culture. Really cold. It is such fun getting to spend time together, folks, but we have come to the end of yet another video. Well, that makes the mainstream scratch their heads, pull their hair out, and wonder, how is it we continue to do what we do? But you know what we do this for? It's for you. To keep bringing all the knowledge of entertainment, explaining what's going on in Hollyweird each and every day. And you can help us continue on that way by clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those algorithms. It's the notification bell. Share this out on your favorite social media platforms, and we would love to have you drop a comment right on down below. Share your thoughts because, well, your thoughts truly do matter, and we mean it. As we get ready to say goodbye, we end with the common refrain. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.